ethics, positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. You know, it's so interesting when you hear about these different celebrities and the things they've been involved with. And you have people from the outside looking in, idolizing these people, wishing that they had their lifestyle. But do you really want these people's lifestyle? Do you want to have to perform rituals or sacrifice a family member or be violated, humiliated for fame? Do you think you could live with that? Would you be cool knowing that somebody took your cheeks in order for you to have a star on the Walk of Fame? Would you be down to give your soul to a demon in exchange for a major role in the movie? Or to be a mega influencer, but you have to perform certain things that make you feel uncomfortable? I'm not naming any celebrities in particular. I'm just talking about the game of life, man. It's a spiritual game. I'm not perfect. I've been around, seen some stuff, and there are levels to the game. You know, people who have never been at the higher levels. I haven't been there, obviously. You know, I wouldn't be sitting here telling you guys about the different things. You know, I'd probably have a TV show by now. But there are levels to it. And I've talked to people, know people who have been around people that are at these different levels. And it's not even about the money for the people who are running these games. It's about the power. It's about the ability to have somebody do something. You think, like, why would somebody want to do somebody like that if they already have everything? And it's because they can. And that's what it's about, man. It's almost like that movie, Conan the Barbarian. And James Earl Jones, he's a high priestess, right? He's a high priest, excuse me. And Conan's talking about power, right? You know, he's muscular, got the big sword, been putting in work, but he's sitting there talking with James Earl Jones, and he looks up. He said, "This is power." And he's like, "Come to me, my princess." And there's a female way up in this temple, and she walks off the temple cliff and falls to her death. That's some wild shit. But see, they put shit like that out there, and people, you know, they think, oh man, you know, why the sacrifices? Why this? Why that? Well, this is nothing new. It's just people have changed with, you know, technology, smartphone, the iPad, the way they dress. You know, they're in cars now instead of on horses. But do you think that sacrifices have stopped for the different levels of society? Do you think that the rituals have stopped? These people still worship the same shit. So those sacrifices ain't stopped. They just been clothed different. They don't look the same because of what the surrounding environment is. You know, you're still looking for the robes and this and that. And maybe they have places where they still go through and do the whole costume ritual. But the shit still goes down. And when you talk about certain things in certain circles, people are reflective of those things because they don't believe in those things, but you know, they have to pretend. So You got to really watch who you're around. And a lot of what you see, you should probably believe 5% of it, because most of it's lies. How these people got to where they're at, the things that they have, that they've accomplished. You thinking, oh man, this person, they worked hard, they put in the work, they created this or created that, and that's all to get you to believe, so that when they approach you, you're more willing to do what they want you to do in the long run. And a lot of times, once you get these material things, you sit around and you look at them, they're stacked in rooms where you're not even really paying attention to them anymore. You forgot that you even had them. Cars that you barely put 1,000 miles on, houses that you spent maybe a month, 2 months out the year, and then you put it on the market. All this stuff, man, is it worth it? Is it worth your soul? Is it worth the trade-off? What truly makes you happy? And then you have some people, they like nothing makes them happy. And those people, I feel the most sorry for, man, when you don't have anything in life that makes you happy. Outside of drugs, outside of alcohol, you don't have anything that makes you happy. You're not happy when you're maybe working in your garden, or you're putting together a puzzle, or drawing, or hanging out with your nieces and nephews, or your family, or working on your car, or doing stuff around the house. Everything doesn't have to be based around materialism. It could just be doing things that give you purpose, man. Life is a journey. We're all traveling on this path, man, and there's parallel universes and multiple choices you can make. And a lot of people want to make it seem like you don't have that many choices. You have an infinite amount of choices in life, man. There's all kind of forks in the road. So when you think about what you're willing to do, ask yourself, is that really your end game? Will that complete you? Will that make you fulfilled? It's like, doing something and then afterwards you feel empty. Have you ever felt like that? You ever felt empty? You maybe bought something, or you hooked up with this chick, or you went somewhere and you realize that you didn't get nothing from it. Now, when you do something and you have a warm feeling in your soul, you look at it and you're like, wow, you got a smile on your face. You feel like God has rewarded you. That's finding purpose, man. And it didn't mean that you got a paycheck right after you did it either. And it didn't require you to do a line and blow. It didn't require you to smoke a pipe or to take a shot of something. It's just something that we all internally have that gives us purpose, connects us with this blessed world, and balances our spirit, man. We all operate off vibrations, and you got to be really conscious of that when you go out places and you get around people, man. And that's why when you look at like a lot of the celebrities, a lot of people you guys, follow and like and subscribe to, surface level, you're like, okay, I just listen to this. I do it too. I listen to certain people as far as maybe music while I'm working out and stuff, but to become obsessed with their life and wanting what they have and to be them, I'm good, man. I'm cool. I'm still on my own life journey, finding my own path, looking to elevate my spiritual consciousness and find my purpose, man. So a lot of this stuff is it's becoming more and more exposed. Whenever you're in the darkness requires you to show your allegiance. It's no different than being a gang member and wearing your colors. You got to represent. These people got to represent what they believe in. That's why you see more and more of this stuff coming out, because that's the part where they say, we're coming to collect. You can't have all this riches and all this stuff, and the demon doesn't collect on their side. They collecting too. They want theirs too. You can't just you're not immune from the trade-off. It ain't just one-sided. There's two sides to the trade-off. Whether you're out there robbing, stealing for a chain, selling your soul to get a position somewhere, there's a trade-off to everything, man. You got to ask yourself, what is that trade-off worth? Is that trade-off worth what you just sacrificed? Just something to think about, man. BigHerc916. Subscribe, share the channel.